Adam here with the Walser Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is take you on a test drive. So next to me here, I have the newly redesigned 2024 Buick Envision. So we'll look at the interior, the exterior, and then we'll go for a spin around to see what it's like out on the road. Okay, so now we're behind the wheel of the Envision, and this is the Avenir trim. So this is going to be the top tier trim level, so we've got all the goodies in here. But let's start with my phone. So we've got wireless charging down here, and then I have a little shelf kind of storage area so I can close that up, and then I've got wireless Apple CarPlay. So that's going to give me text messaging, Google Maps, Spotify, all that good stuff is going to be right in the infotainment screen. But before we dig too much into that, let's put it in drive. We'll go for a spin around. So let's talk about some changes to the 2024 model. Now the Envision did get a redesign for 24, so it's going to look like the Encore or the Envista. It's kind of Buick's design language going forwards. Now they did this really cool prototype, I think it was called the Wildcat, which had some pretty wild design on it, and they've used some of that front end design on the new Envision. Obviously the Avenir, as the fully loaded model, is going to look a little bit different on the exterior as well. You'll notice some chrome trim on the outside as well. This does get the 20-inch wheels. It's a silver look and it does look really good. Now the color for this one is new for 24. It's called Calypso Blue, and in the Avenir trim, it grabbed my eye right away. I knew when I saw that one I wanted to shoot a video on that color because it does look really cool. It's kind of a blue pearl color and it fits the Avenir style very nicely. Now a few other differences with this is going to have a 2-liter turbocharged engine. So there's all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive. This one being the all-wheel drive model, you're looking at about 28 mpg. Now they've gone away from a lot of the 6-cylinders. Most manufacturers have, because turbocharging these littler 4-cylinder engines, it's going to give you plenty of get up and go, and it's going to return that better fuel economy in the end. Yes, I know we kind of miss it for towing or just kind of overall torque, but if I put my foot down, that 9-speed, you hear the little turbo spool up and it does take off and go. So I think 95% of the time it's going to be more than enough get up and go to merge out into traffic or running around town to just be plenty comfortable. Now let's talk about the interior, because this is what blew me away. It's a 30-inch infotainment and digital gauge cluster. On the digital gauge cluster side here, we've got our speedo, and then you can click a button on the steering wheel. That's going to pull up Google Maps. Since I do have my phone hooked up to the CarPlay, it's also going to pull up that map, and then it goes to some of your safety stuff like your adaptive cruise control. So you can set 3, 2, 1 car length distance ahead of you, and if you're doing a cabin trip or a lot of highway driving, that is a pretty cool feature and pretty usable stuff day to day as far as the safety equipment is concerned. You've got blind spot monitoring, emergency detection that will actually stop the vehicle if it thinks it might get into an accident, and as well, there's a 360 view surround camera. That is awesome. If the kids left something in the driveway, tight parking spot, you can actually pull up the camera and see what's going on both sides, behind, out front. That is a pretty sweet feature. That's also going to pair with the parking sensors that will pop up on the digital cluster. So back to our infotainment screen here. It is lightning fast. It's really easy to use. It looks a little overwhelming at first, but I've been driving around this afternoon, and once I kind of figured all that stuff out, the Google Assistant is in there, so I can tell it to take me to Walser, Buick, GMC, and Bloomington, and it will give me directions on both screens for that. As well, it has built-in Amazon Alexa, which is pretty cool as well. Another kind of thing you can change in here is the ambient lighting. So I can set pretty much whatever color I want. If I want to match the blue outside, you can do neon pink, yellow, there's lots of different choices there. And then you also have your climate control settings. So there's physical buttons down below, but if you want to change the climate through the digital display, you can also do that. And they left a volume control knob down here. So if you didn't want to do it on the steering wheel or the passenger wants to change, you can change or adjust the volume there. Now let's talk about the seats. It's a little bit rainy today, maybe you can hear that on camera, not the best weather, so we do have heated seats for the driver, passenger, and in the second row. These are going to be ventilated seats for the front, and they're going to be massaging seats. That is pretty cool. If you're on a long road trip or you want to kind of massage your lower back, there's a few different ways you can change it. And the Avenir, that definitely delivers, and I found myself really liking that feature. And another thing I really liked in here was the panoramic moonroof up above. So that, when it opens up, especially with the black interior, is a game changer. If you got the kids in the back, 4 adults, you're going out to dinner, it's nice, it's comfortable, it's quiet in here. That is something I really liked. Another thing that's really cool, the heated steering wheel. So you kick that on, it's gonna make your hands nice and toasty in the wintertime, and it's actually kind of a thicker steering wheel. I like that. It feels a little bit sportier, and you do have the paddle shifters if you want to manually change that. So you can click the manual button on the steering wheel and shift there, and it does give you a sense of sportiness, especially with the turbocharged powertrain. Another cool safety feature, this one does get the heads-up display. So right now it's telling me I'm going 35 miles an hour. It will give my cruise control settings in there. All that stuff can show you right in front of you, so you're not ever messing with your phone when you're on the go. That's the point of the CarPlay. All the safety in here is that you're paying attention when you're driving around. Now there is a few different drive modes you can select. So if you click the little button on the side, it'll go to all-wheel drive, sport, or the off-road mode, or just the regular tour. That would be kind of the standard mode for the vehicle. Now, what about the second row? Like I said, those seats are heated, but I found myself at 6'1" for where I'm driving comfortably to have more than enough headroom as well as legroom back there. That's something that's nice about the Envision. It's really comfortable and quiet. And like I said, if you've got, maybe you're going out date night or you got the kids in the back and you want to put 4 people in here, everyone's going to fit, and there is still room in the back. But if you're not hauling people, those seats do fold down, and it gives you a little bit of extra cargo space where they fold down pretty much completely flat in a 60-40 split, which can help you out in a pinch if you're looking to haul something else around. Now, one thing I like about the Envision is, let's talk about the price and maybe what you might be cross-shopping. Whether you're looking at BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Volvo, some of the luxury car brands, this Buick, in the way it's configured as the Avenir, the fully loaded trim is going to come in just over $48,000. That's getting you wireless Apple CarPlay, 20-inch wheels, great style and design, and a quiet interior, and that's going to be just pretty much a starting to lower tier trim level if you're looking at one of those German SUVs. I mean, you're getting so much equipment and style, I think, in the Buick that it really does kind of outkick its class when you're looking at luxury cars. If you went to a Mercedes, you'd be looking at about $65,000 to have some of the same equipment, and maybe not even all of it, that we're getting here in the Envision. So one other thing I noted, the auto start stop. So when I come up to the stoplight here, it goes dead silent inside, and this does have the Bose sound system as well. So when I had my Spotify hooked up, I was listening to some tunes earlier, and it does sound really good in here, especially when it's dead silent. But one other cool feature is the rear view mirror. So obviously it's a standard rear view mirror, but if you flip this, it's actually a full digital display. So if you've got a bunch of camping stuff in the back or you can't quite see out the rear window, you can flip that and it goes to a digital display, which does make it pretty easy again to back up. So on the same tune as the ambient lighting, one other thing on the exterior that did feel kind of upscale or more luxury to me is the light dance. So when I walk up to the vehicle and unlock it, the headlights and the taillights kind of do this dance where it goes through the display and moves back and forth. It seems kind of goofy or gimmicky, but I found myself doing it a couple times because I really did like it. It just felt like something that would provide a little bit one of those maybe luxury touch points to the vehicle. And I think that's pretty cool from the Buick Envision. So like I said, pricing for the Avenir is going to be just over $48,000, but if you go down a tier level or two, maybe to the ST trim or even the base model, you're looking at mid-30s. And at mid-$30,000 range, this seems like a bargain. Lots of space, lots of comfort, I think great design on the outside. So if you're in the market for a crossover SUV, I think you've got to get out and take the Envision for a spin and see what you think. So that was just a quick look and drive in the new 2024 Buick Envision. Now, if you'd like more information or to schedule a test drive, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by either one of our Buick GMC locations. We'd be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching.